Hello everyone, good morning. Can anyone please confirm I'm audible or not? Okay then. Last class where we stopped. Anyone tried Hello World program by using Create React app? Anyone tried? Okay. Okay then. Last class we discussed about how to create this application as well as what are the things for there. Okay, what things are there inside this folder. Okay, source folder as well as these files we discussed. Okay, recap all these things. Okay, readme file contains what? Okay, just okay, how to proceed with this file runs, okay, how to build your code and everything. Okay, readme file. Package.json contains what? Package.json contains just you mentioned your application dependencies as well as your running application running commands. Okay, these are the things are important. Okay, application related dependencies where we can write inside the dependencies property as well as dev dependencies property also. What is the difference between dependencies and dev dependencies? We'll see in next class. Okay, next classes. The back discussion will tell. These are the dependencies and these are the application running commands. Perfect. Okay, these are the dependencies, right? Okay, just you mentioned here, that's it. I want these dependencies. I want to download these dependencies into my React application. So who can read these particular dependencies and download? Okay, which command is there? npm install is the command. npm install command, just find your package.json first, and then inside the package.json search for dependencies or dev dependencies property. Inside this dev dependency or dependencies property, how many properties are there, how many libraries you mentioned, that libraries are going to download into your application by creating one of the folder name like node modules or not. Yes or no? Okay, how we can create the node modules? By running npm install command. Where we can run npm install command, wherever the package.json is there you have to run this particular command. Okay, inside the package.json, which mandatory properties are required? Okay, dependencies or dev dependencies. Otherwise, there is no properties, there is no libraries are mentioned. Then okay, which libraries you want me to load? Okay, you have to mention inside the dependencies or dev dependencies properties. That's it. Okay, now if you come here, you have to run your application in the browser. Okay, it's a client-side technology, client-side application where we can run inside the browser. Inside the browser, which file is going to run? Only one file can run, that is the index.html, one HTML file. So that I mentioned index.html, I didn't, so by default they provided. So inside the index.html, I have the container. Okay, this is my container. Inside the container, I have to place my content or not. So in React, how we can prepare the content? By using a component. So that, okay, come here. Who can render your content inside the container? Who can run? Okay, who can render your content inside the container? Okay, my React DOM library or not. So that where we can write that React DOM library means index.js is the file. Inside this index.js file, my React DOM.render, which component you want me to render inside the container, that one you can specify. But in the past, if you observe all your rendering related stuff, your container, your libraries, your component, all these things you written inside a single file. But now onwards, it's like a clean separation. My libraries are different. Here is my libraries. Here is my container, here is my component, and here itself, okay, this is my component and this is my rendering port or not, each and everything like a clean separation. So here, this is the component. From where we can get the component? If you observe here, this app component, not inside this index.js file. This is coming from outside. Okay, one of the file. Which file? From which file you get this particular app component means inside the same folder, inside the root folder. Okay, app.js is the file. From that app.js file, you get this app component or not. So that inside the same folder, can we check for the app.js? Inside the source folder, same folder is source folder. I have the file name is like app.js. Check it. Okay, now see here. This file returns you what? Okay, this file gives me one component. This file gives me one component. That component only, right? I rendered here. So that in the app.js, if you observe, see this is my simple functional component or not. Any type of component you can write, it's not a matter for us. Okay, this is my functional component. It returns hello Sachin. It returns what? Hello Sachin. So that whatever it is going to return, that one I want to render inside this container. So that I exported this component and here I render this component by passing as an argument to my render method or not. Okay, just I split it, more than that, nothing. Syntactically, there is no change. Okay, now me run this application. If you want to see this output, I should have to run your application or not. How you can run your application? Again, if you come to the package.jsm, okay, I already told you these are the libraries and these are the commands to run your application, to build your application, to test your application. Okay, so that can we run your application? How we can run it? How we can run it? By running this start command or not. How we can run means there has my node package manager only will take care. Okay, my command name is like start. Command name is like start. Understand or not? Okay. Okay then. Now the question is this. If we use create react app, then we don't need to do npm install. Okay, yes or no? Okay, that's why, because at the time of running this command, okay, react app, my app, then the time by default this key only will take care of your npm install. Okay, first time not required. But here for our purpose, just I am discussing this one in the package.json what it contains, like that. Okay, by default my create react app will take care. Okay, if it is not take care, then the time you will take care by running the command, by running npm install command. Okay, it's not required to always take care. Okay, create react app will take care. Another application, if you create vue.js, okay, it may not take care. Okay, with different command. Okay, express.js is there for node application, it may not take care. If it is not take care, okay, you are the person has to run npm install, okay, to get that libraries. If already take care, there is no problem at all. Yes, my node module is there, then that can directly can run it. Okay, that is the thing. Now just wait, see this, it's running your application or not. It's running your application. Now the thing is, come to our requirement. What is our requirement? Can anyone tell? Our requirement is what? Just let me open paint. Yeah, now this is my web application. Okay, my web page looks like this. I want one header. Okay, I want one footer. Okay, and here I want menu. Okay, inside the menu there has some menu items are there. Okay, those are like home, about, contact, like this. Home, about. Okay, contact, like this, multiple you can write it. Contact, services. Okay, if I click on the about, okay, the about it has to display. If I click on the contact, contact has to display. Okay, this is my header, my first react app, this is my header, and my footer simply you can say like rights belongs to me. Okay, rights belongs to me. This is my simple web page. Okay, that's it. Now, if it is only the requirement, okay, how many components are required? Okay, my component is a simple piece of code. It can be reusable in future. Okay, for now, if it is not reusable also, just create a component. Okay, that component may be based on your requirement. You may be used in future. Okay, for now, if it is one time also, just create a component. A piece of code is there. That means see. Okay, by seeing this one, you can understand header is one part. So that create one component. Menu one part, create one component. Home one component. About, like this, as a developer, if you understand the requirement, then that time based on that one, you can create any number of components you want. That many components you can create, no problem at all. Okay, I want like pieces. That's it. Okay, that piece if you want to use in future, okay, you can use directly. Okay, instead of tightly coupled, just you can create the component, merge all the components wherever you want based on your requirement. Okay, let's do it. Now come here. Yesterday we not discussed about two more files. What are those? One is like index.js, another one is like app.css. Okay, see this index.js. Inside the index.js, which type of CSS? Okay, now you can understand, right? CSS for what? To apply styles. Okay, to write your styles to apply in your web page or not. So that there has two files are there by default. One is like what? Index.css. The another one is like app.css. Very simple thing. Okay, see, here asking one question. Observe here. Something is already running on port number 3000. By default, my npm start command. Okay, the application which you created by using create react app, my npm start command. Okay, it's going to run your application in one server with the port number of what? 3000 is the port number default. Okay, now the 3000 port number already occupied by one of my React application, conference management system. This is another React application. Already it's running. Already it's running. See. Okay, that means already 3000 port number occupied by another application which is created, which is that one also created by create React app command only. So already the application is running on 3000 port number. Simply it asks the question like this: would you like to run your application in another port number? You can say yes. You can say yes. That it's going to run on 3001 port number. 3001 also occupied by some other person. Then it's going to ask like another port number. Do you want me to run 3002, 3006 like this? It's going to run. Okay. Now come here. Here there is two index files. One CSS files are there. One is like index.css, and another one is like app.css. My index.css contains what? You know, very simple thing. At application level, my application contains what? My application contains what? Components. Components. Okay, one of the component is a home component. My component is the combination of how many files? Can anyone guess? My component is the combination of how many files? Okay, if it's like a simple functional component, you can write inside only one file. Okay, generally, if you want to write one class component, if you want to give the clean separation, how many files? The combination of how many files? One is like home.js is one file. The next one is like home.js is one file. The next one is like home.css is one file or not. Yes or no? My component is the combination of these many files or not agree. And one more file also they created on index.js. Index.js. What is this index.js? I will tell. This is the component, many files. Okay, these many files combination, okay, is my component. So if you want to create this component, anyone tell how you can create React component is my command. Which component you want to create? Home component. Why? Because I don't want to create manually. If you want to create it manually, for this home component, 4 files has to create. Like this 7 components, 7 4s are 28 files you have to create manually. It's not a recommended one or not. Okay, perfect. Now see here, this home.css is there, right? This is the one. This is the CSS file specific to which file we are going to use this one. Okay, my JSX, home.jsx or not. See here, inside my home.jsx, there has some content is there. That content related styles we are going to write in the home.css or not. See, my home.css is specific to home.jsx or not. Yes or no? Okay, my home.jsx related styles we are going to write where? Home.css or not. Okay. Okay, now app.css is there. Okay, this app.css, okay, we are going to write, okay, some of the styles which is related to my app component or not. So my app.css, we are going to write some styles which is related to my app.js or not. See here, here I imported or not. Here I imported. Agreed? Up to okay or not? Regarding app.css. Now index.css is there. Very simple thing. Okay, inside my index.css, okay, app.css, I don't want, okay, these all things I don't want for what they provided. I want to write my own styles. My index.css is the one we can write some of the common styles which is related to all components. Okay, my home component specific styles we are going to write like home.css. My about component specific styles we are going to write about.css. But some of the styles which are common at application level, okay, that styles we can write where? Inside the index.css application level styles. Understand or not? Okay, my app.css is the file we can write the styles specific to my app.js component. My home.css which contains the styles which is specific to my home.jsx file. Yes or no? My index.css it has the styles which is related to my application, total application level styles, common styles we can write inside my index.css. Understand or not? So for good. Okay. Okay then. Now index.css, my body is the common for what application, right? So application level he written something. Okay. This is the code he written something. This is the semantic element. Okay, now come here. So my index app.css, where you loaded my app.css, it's specific to app.js. Okay, so that I loaded inside my app.js. My index.css specific to application. Then where you want me to load? Where you want me to load? Application level. Okay, where you want me to load? The index.js is the file. This is the bootstrap file or not? If you observe here, see, import my index.css or not? Yes or no? Okay, any CSS if you want to use at application level, okay, that styles you can load into my index.js. into my index.js. Okay, now it's going to work set application level. Okay, okay, then perfect. Now, for our requirement, 7 components are required. 7 components are required. So that can we create that components? Where you want me to create? In which folder? Node modules folder is there, public folder is there, source is there. Which folder you want me to create? In which folder you want me to create? All your code we can write inside the source folder. So that can we open the, do you want me to create manually or you want me to go with the command? Yes, you can go with the command. Which command that is? Create react component is the command. If that command is not there in your machine, that means you not install that command. How we can install that command? Okay, create react component is not there. How we can install it? npm install -t create react component is the command or not? Yes or no? Okay, how many times you want me to install this command? For every time, for each and every application you want me to install it? No. System level only one time. It's a global. Only global one time. Okay, now can you go to your command prompt? Okay, how you can go to the command prompt? Do you want me to open command prompt like this? Yes, you can go with it. No problem at all. But my Visual Studio Code itself provides you one terminal. It's acting like command prompt, right? So that already I opened terminal. Yes, this is my terminal. Okay, one inside the terminal, my application is running. I want one more terminal or not? Then see here, there has a plus symbol is there. Okay, how many terminals you want? That many terminals you can create. That many terminals you can create. If you don't want, just okay, remove it. Okay, delete it. Okay, now see, only one terminal inside the terminal. My application is running. I want one more terminal. Yes, open one more terminal. Okay, now you are in which folder? My React app is the folder. So that can you go to my source folder? Can you go to my source folder? CD source. Okay, just wait. I'm in the source folder now. Okay, clear it. TLS is the clear. So can we get that component? Which component? First component. Okay, here header is my component. So that you get it. Create React component header. Create React component header. Can anyone tell? Now, once it is finished, inside this folder, one folder created with the name of header. Yes, inside this source folder, one folder created or not? Inside the folder, how many files will create? Can anyone guess? It's a combination of 3 files, right? So that one is like what? Header.css. Another one is like what? Header.js. And another one is like header.jsx. One extra file also there, index.js. What is that index.js? We'll see later. Okay, the main concentration, you can focus on these 3 files. Header.css, header.js, and header.jsx. Okay, perfect. Within the 3 files, which file represents your component? Which file represents your component? Okay, always the JS file or not? Inside the JS file, my JSX is going to load. Inside the JSX, my CSS is going to load or not? So like that, we are going to combine all these 3 files or not? Let me open my header.js. Can anyone tell what it contains? My header.js contains what? Which type of code? You said like my header.js contains a component. Okay, how the code is looks like? Can anyone guess how my code is looks like? How my code is looks like? Okay, header component, right? Okay, it's like a class component. Okay, which extends from where? Extends from where? Yeah, okay, next, come on. Yes, you should have to override render method. Okay, my render method should returns what? This is my header.js. Header.js. Perfect. Come on, render method returns what? My render method returns what? My render method returns some content. Where is your content? Where is your content? Where is your content? Return some content. Here is the content. Here is my content. My content is available here. No, my content you written inside header.jsx or not. So there is one more file is there, right? Header.jsx. Okay. How my header.jsx gives this content to this guy? Inside my header.jsx, how my code looks like? Come on. It's a JavaScript and XML. JavaScript, all JavaScript functions you can write. XML means your own tags you can write it. Okay, it's a tag based. Okay, tag based is nothing but HTML also tag based, right? Okay, as well as custom, as well as your creative. Okay, how it looks like? Very simple thing. Write one function. Template. Template. Return this content. Return this content. Okay, now tell me this content inside header.js. Where you want? Here, here I want. Tell me. I have some content inside one file. I want the content inside another file. How we can? This file should ready to give this content to this guy or not. So inside this file, what we have to do? You have to export it or not. So can you export it? Export default. Default, what's that? Once you exported from this file, now this file ready to import or not? You can import or not. So how we can import anything from where? From which file? Same folder, header.js or not? Okay, now my question is, can anyone tell? My header.js returns me what? What he exported, not written. My header.js exported what? What is the type? My header.js exported what? Exported on template. Exported on template. Okay, so that when we use that name only, instead of giving another name, you can give any name, no problem at all. Okay, naming convention purpose, you can give the same name. Now, he exported template, I imported the template here. What is the type of the template? What is the type of the template? What is the type of the template? My template type is what here? See, you exported. It's a function. It's a function. My type of the template is a function. Okay, inside the function, this content is there. I want this content here. So that one function, how we use the content back by returning. So how we can get the return value? By calling or not. Agreed? Yes or no? Okay, how many ways we can call one function? Tell me. My question is, how many ways we can call one function? How many ways we can call one function? I have one function is there. How many ways we can call one function? Okay, how many ways we can call it? 1, 2. These many ways we can call the function or not. Direct call, apply, bind. Okay, when you can go with the call, apply, bind? When you can go with the call, apply, bind. Okay, okay then, perfect. Now see this. I have one requirement. Constructor. Super. This dot state equals to name such. Name I want to print. This name I want to print. So how we can print? Can anyone guess? This name, if you want to print in the browser, okay, inside the render only, right? But my render taking the data from the template, so that finally you should have to use render here only or not. Agreed or not? Generally, you have to write this code here. Okay, now I written this piece of code in another file, another method, so that you should have to write your template. You prepare your template here itself or not. You can get it. Now tell me, what is my answer? Is my Sachin is going to print? Is my Sachin is going to print or not? Is my Sachin is going to print or not? Okay, it's not print. Why? It's not print. My Sachin will not print. What is the error message we'll get? Okay, cannot read property state of undefined. But this is like undefined. Well, you know, see, my render method by default has my current object is. My constructor by default has my current object is. Why? These are the lifecycle methods. Okay, my React called and my React make it available. But here, my template is your method or my React people. Whose method is this? My template. My template is not my React. That is your method or not. If it is your method, then the time is this is available by default like an header. If it is your method by default is like an header. Okay, by default my this is pointing to header. No. So that I have my current object. I have to make this object is available like a current object in the template or not. So how we can? How we can? Instead of calling like this, okay, can we call one of the method like a call with my current object this? Okay, now what happened? Okay, I want to call my template by make this object is available like a current object or not. By make this object is available like a current object or not. Yes or no? Now understand, right? The difference? Got it or not? Any questions? Okay, if it is like a direct call, my this is not available, so that I'm not able to use my this dot state or something. Okay, now I want to make my current object is available. My current object is available inside the render method, not inside the template. Inside the render method, not inside the template. Okay, so that you should have to make your object is available to this particular template like a current object. Understand or not? Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, yeah, you can use call. Okay, otherwise you can use apply. Okay, now my call and apply directly call that method. Okay, here also you have to call directly or not. Our requirement is what? My template should have to call directly. There is no button click or something. Okay, so that we are directly use like what? Either call or apply. Bind method returns me what? My bind method returns me what? One more method. That method has to call. Okay, at the time of clicking on the button, we are going to call that method. Here the thing is, if you want to call this bind method, again you can call it. Understand or not the difference? Call and apply methods directly call it. Okay, our requirement is also directly call. Okay, template you are calling. My bind method will not call directly. So that you can call again like this. Any one of these one you can use. No problem at all. My template dot call of this. Either this one you can use, either this one you can use. Okay, either this one you can use. Understand or not? Okay, perfect. Now the next thing. Okay, header.css. Okay, come on. Header.css, which contains some CSS. Okay, where you want me to load it? Inside my header.jsx or not? Okay, how you can load it? My header.css. Okay, now see, my header.css we loaded inside the header.jsx. My header.jsx we loaded inside my header.js. So that finally my header.js what? Export your component or not. My header.js export your component or not. Okay. Now anybody want this component? Okay, from which file you want me to get that component? Finally, where is your component? Finally, my component is inside header.js or not. Okay, now if you want this component, you can point into my header.js and you can get it. But these people did one thing. They added one more file. This file that is index.js file. Okay, I don't want to expose this file to outside world. Why? Because all my logic and everything I written inside the header.js only. This is only my component. So that these people, what they did, okay, instead of exporting, okay, instead of giving this one to some other person, okay, just ask him take this header from the index.js. So how we can? Okay, this particular header.js also gives what? Header component. I don't want to give this component from this file. I don't want to export. I don't want to give it. Okay, so that what I can do is just you can whatever we exported from my header.js, just you can export from index.js. Now, how we can get this header here? You can import it. Import my header from where? From my header.js or not. Okay, see here. Now, index.js exported what? Export default header. My header.js export what? Export default header. Both are exported what? Header components only or not? Okay, instead of giving my header from my header.js file, okay, just ask him to take header from index.js. That is the purpose of index.js file. Other than that, nothing. Just export your component. That's it. Okay. Now, can we open how it looks like? First, can I open header.js? Yes. See this? Class header extends react.component. Okay, override the render method returns a content. This content is coming from where? Header.jsx. Okay, so my header.jsx has export a template. Header.js export a template. My template is like a simple JavaScript normal function or not. So this function, if you want to call from here, from my header.js, yes, you can call it. Okay, while calling, whatever my render method contains my current object context, that context I want to make it available to my template. So that inside my template.js, that means inside my template, I want to make my current object is available. So I'm calling my template by passing my current object this. Now inside my JSX, what it contains, header.css or not. See this, my header.css, nothing is there. Okay, that one is here. See now my header.css inside my header.jsx, my header.jsx inside my header.js or not. Now finally you exported here. If I open my index.js, my index.js also contains what? Export default header. My header also contains what? Export default header. Okay, now instead of export, that means instead of importing my header from header.js, okay, now onwards, okay, you can import your header file from my index.js. This is specific to what? Specific to giving your header to outside world or not. Okay, either you can import from header from this header.js. Why? Because he is exported, as well as you can import from index.js also. This guy also exported header or not. Either that one, either this one, you can use it. Okay, if you use this one, what is the need of this file? This file they created is nothing but you can use it only specific to what? Only specific to export your component or not. So better to import from your index.js. Understand or not? So for good, what my component contains. Okay, now where is your component? My header component is here. Okay, this component has to render or not. Our requirement is what? My requirement is, okay, at the time of loading the page inside the browser, see this, localhost 3001, localhost 3001. Okay, do you want me to show hello Sachin? Is it your requirement? Do you want me to show hello Sachin? No, our requirement is what? I want to show the first piece is what? Header. Okay, this one I want to show. Okay, so that can we design that one? Okay, where is my header? Where is my header? My header is inside this. This is my header component. If you want to write some piece of code here, how we can write it? Okay, this is the one or not? This is the one or not? So what is your requirement? This is my content, my first React application. Okay, now come here, my first React application. This is the one, my first React application. Okay, now anyone tell, will this component used or not? At this point of time, did you use this component anywhere? You created one component. You created one component. Okay, is it used or not? Anywhere, is it used or not? This is the component. Okay, this guy exported this component. Anywhere you imported this one? No, you not imported at this point of time. So that can we import? Can we load it? Where you want me to load? Where you want me to load? This hello Sachin I don't want. Where you written this hello Sachin? Where you written this hello Sachin? If you observe here, my application is going to start from here or not. See here, this is my container and this is my component. This component is loading inside the container or not. Whatever the things you written inside the component app, okay, that is like a root component, that is only rendered inside the container or not. So can you go to my app component? Can you go to my app component? Now instead of this hello section, I don't want this hello section. What do you want me to show? What do you want me to show? Header, menu, remaining all things you have to show it or not. So can we show the header? This is your header. My header inside another folder, okay, another file. So that can we get it first? Import. Okay, if you don't know name, you can put X. Okay, because if you export with default, you can import with any name, no problem at all. From where is your file? Inside the header folder. See here. Okay, from where you want me to export it? From my index.js or not? Index.js. So most of the times, Okay, not most of the times, always my folder name and my component name both are same or not. So copy this folder name and place here instead of placing like X or something. Now this header can be loaded here. This header can be loaded here. That's it. I'll come here. Now here is my first application. Can we give some styles now? Can we give some styles now? Right click on that one, inspect it. Okay, now go to your header font. Yes, this is my header. Can we give some styles? Okay, right. Text alignment. My font size equals to 60 pixel. My font weight equals to bold. Okay, my background color equals to yellow. Done or not? Okay, can we add these styles to my header? Okay, can we add these styles to my header? Where is this header? This is the one or not? This is the class or not? If you want to write the styles for my header.jsx, which file you want me to use? Header.css or not? Why? Because I loaded header.css here. So that what is my class name? Header. So that go to my header.css. My class name is like header, and we place this stuff. That's it. Now see this. Ready? My header ready or not? Agreed? Yes or no? Is it okay or not? Any questions? Okay, can we go with the next step? Okay, the next one is like footer you can complete. Footer you can complete. So can we create one more component like a footer? Okay, how you can create the component? Inside the source only, create React component. My component name is like what? Yes, my footer created. Can anyone tell? My footer contains how many files? Footer folder contains how many files? Okay, same 4 files: photo.css, photo.jss, photo.jsx, index.js. Can you see which component is going to which file is going to represent your component? Okay, this is the one. Class footer react.component render return template.all of my current object. This or not. So can you go to my template inside my photo.jsx? Yes. This is your content or not? Can you write the content? He writes. Yes, my content ready. My content ready. Now, this content I want to load where inside my app.js. Okay, here header is there. After the header, I want to load footer so that my content is inside one of the file called as a photo.js. That file I want here or not inside my app.js or not. So this is my component. This is my component already exported. Okay, from here, from this particular file also you can import it. Otherwise, one specific file is there to export your footer or not. See, copy this one. If you go to my index.js, see, same code or not, export default footer. Okay, that means my index.js inside the footer folder only for what specific. It is specific to export your footer component or not. So here, from here, you can import. Okay, so how you can import? Now come here and import from here. Import. If you don't know anything, just you can put like this. From where? Which folder? My component inside my footer folder. Okay, which file you exported? Index file or not? Now my folder name and my component name both are like same, so that remove the text and you can put footer. Okay, now can we load my footer? Can we load my footer now? Okay, why I'm telling like always X and X like this means see import. Okay, the component name exactly I don't know, so that we want to type like this. Don't type it. So put some value. Okay, if you give like in space, okay, you didn't put anything, then the time helper will not come. See this. Okay, so that do one thing. Just put any text. Okay, one letter, one character, you can put X from. Okay, see the helper came within the same folder. Okay, where is your file? Footer is my folder. Inside the footer folder, within the same folder, inside my footer folder. Okay, now my exported file is what? This is my file or not? Here, my folder name and my component name is both are same, right? So that you can remove this X, just you can play. Now come to C, can you load it? rights belongs to me. Okay, I want in the bottom, so that can we write some styles. Now this is my div. Okay, what are the styles? My position equals to fixed. Okay, my bottom equals to 0. My background color equals to yellow. Okay, can I give like width equals to 100%? My text align equals to center. Okay, my font size weight equals to bold. Okay, so all things you can. For what? For my footer div or not? Where is this footer div? This footer div inside my footer component. This is the one or not footer. This related styles where you want to write photo.css, so that you write that styles here. The class name is like a footer. This is the style. Now come here. Now see how it looks like. It's always in the bottom only or not? Up it okay? Up it okay or not? My header and my footer ready or not? Okay, what is the next step? Can anyone guess? The next step. Okay, perfect. Now you should have to go with the menu or not. Okay, this spot or not. So can we create one more component like menu? Okay, menu component contains menu items. So that can we create menu component? Okay, right. Now come here. Okay, this is my menu component. Yes. That menu component where you want me to place? That menu component where you want me to place? That menu component I want to place after the header or not? Here I want. So can we import that menu first? Import. Okay, now one was directly to write it. Okay, that menu is my folder. Index is my exported file. So my file name and my component names both are like same. So that come here after my header. After my header, write like my header. Now yes. Yeah, my menu is ready or not? My menu ready or not? Now, is it your requirement? My menu should be like this. No, right? My menu which contains few menu items. My menu contains what? Few menu items. Few menu items. So that can we write that items? Can we clear that items? So how we can write? Now come here. Now come here. Okay, now come here. This is my menu.jsx. See this. This is the text displayed here or not? This is the text displayed here or not? This is the text displayed here or not? So this text I don't want. This text I don't want. I want to create some menu items like this or not? I want to create some menu items like this or not? Home, about, contact, service like that. So can you create those things? Okay, write one, two. Okay. Here, can I write like one class name? Class name. I want to write some styles in future. Menu items. Items. Okay, how many menu items are there? This is my home. Okay, here how many are required? Home, about, contact, service. Okay, now my menu items are ready or not? Yes. Okay, can we make it as look and feel? Can we write some styles? Okay, write it. Now come here. These are the menu items inside my div. These are the menu items. So these are all menu items on the right side I want. So text align right. These are all items in the right side. The next one. Can we give some background color? Background equals to yellow, green or something. Okay. Okay, any one of these one can use. Okay. Now can we give some height? Line height equals to 60 pixels. Okay, can decrease to 50. Okay, this is the one. Okay, now these are the things for what? Menu items div or not? These properties for menu items div. Okay, now come here. These properties for menu items div. Can you go to menu items? This is the menu items. these styles we have to write inside menu.css or not. So go to menu.css. My class name is like what? Menu items. My class name is like what? Menu items. Yes. Now it looks like this or not. So now for these items, I want to make it as look and feel. This is my anchor tag. I want to make it as look and feel. How it can? By font size equals to 20 pixels. Font weight equals to bold. Okay. My margin right equals to 15 pixels. Margin right equals to 15 pixels. My letter spacing equals to 3 pixels or 2 pixels. Okay, my text repetition equals to none. Okay, like this you can put it. For what? For my menu item. Okay, these styles only for home or it is applicable for all items. Okay, these styles not only for home anchor. These all for all anchor tags or not. Can anyone tell the selector which represents all anchor tags inside the menu items div? Okay, how we can? These all anchor tags are the direct children of my menu items div or not? How we can represent? What is the selector for direct children? Is greater than or not? Greater than. Star is nothing but all, not only these two. Okay, I want only anchor tags. Okay, if you put like star all inside my body or not. Okay, this is the one. Now can you come here? Can you see this? How it looks like? Yeah. Okay, okay or not? Okay, now tell me. At the time of clicking on the home, then the time home component has to display. Okay, at the time of clicking on the about has to display contact, like this. Okay, how many components are required? Extra components. How many extra components are required? Three components already created. 4 more components required or not? So can we create those 4 components now? Now come here. Okay, the first one. Oh, okay, next one. Yeah, about. Okay, the next one. Contact. Okay, the next one. Service. Yes. All components ready or not? All components are ready now. Now the thing is, in the menu.jsx, at the time of clicking on this particular anchor tag, okay, what is my default behavior to my anchor tag? My default behavior of my anchor tag is like a navigation. Okay, just route one page to another page. That is my default behavior or not? Okay, now at the time of clicking on the home, you should know you are in the which page. How you know that one? Based on your URL or not? Based on your URL or not? So at the time of clicking on this particular home, can we change your route to home? If I click on the about like that. Okay, by seeing that one, anyone can understand like, yes, you are in the home page, you are in the about page, you are in the contact page like this or not. Anyone can see it or not? Anyone can confirm. So that how we can give the routing path here to my anchor tag means by using home or not. Okay, now this is home. Okay, the next one is like hash is there. Without hash and hash also. Okay, why I put like hash I did that. The next one is like contact, for which you can give any email. The next one is like service. The next one is like service. Yeah. Now these are my routing paths. Now come here. Now see this. What you observe here? See, tell me. If I click on the home, yeah. If I click on the about, see this. Contact, service. My path changed or not now? Okay, if I click on the contact, my path is changed to contact. If I click on the home, my path is changed to home or not? Now tell me, based on this particular path, what is my path here? Home. If my path is like home, which component you want me to load? If my path is like home, which component you want me to load? Home component you have to load here or not? If my path is like about, which component you want me to load? About component or not? Okay, contact component. I have the paths as well as I have the components. Okay, somewhere can we map both? Okay, if my path is home, load this component. If my path is about, load this component. Contact, load this component. Like this, can we map it somewhere? If you map, then the time, based on that particular path, that particular mapping component is going to load or not. Like this, you have to map. So where your paths are there. Where is your paths? Here is my paths. Okay, now if the paths are here, can we load your components here itself? Okay, then easy to map or not? Okay, how many components, how many paths are there? Home, about, contact, service. How many components? Okay, you have to load here, 4 components. Okay, and then you have to map it. Okay, what you have to map? Path is this one, then which component? Path is this one, which component? Like this, you have to map it or not? How we can map, we'll see later. First of all, for this path, okay, which components you want me to load? Can we get the components first? Can we import it? Okay, how we can import it? Import which component? If you don't know, yes. From where? You are in the menu.jsx. Okay, my home component is here. Can anyone tell how you can get it? You are here, so that you should have to come one level up or not. If you want to go to one level up, how we can double dot. Okay, next one is like which folder? Home is my folder. And then file name is like what? Index or not. So can we get this home? How to mapping I will tell. Okay, first get all these components. Import. From where? From the about index. Okay, now can we copy this one? Can we place here? Okay, the next one. Import. That's from where? Contact. That copy and contact. The next one. Import. From where? Service and index. When we load this service. Yes. See, I have 4 components. I have 4 paths. Can we map? Who can do this work? This mapping. Who can do this work? Okay, one person is required or not? Okay, one person is nothing but in this case, one library you can say. Okay, how many libraries are there already? How many libraries are there? How we can check how many libraries are there? Okay, 3 libraries you loaded. These 3 libraries having their own specific work or not? What my React is going to do? My React is going to recognize the component. That one only he can do. Other than that, he not do anything. What my React scripts is going to do? He is going to perform Babel operations is nothing but he is going to compile it. He is going to run your application in one port number in one server. So that this guy is going to run and compile your application. That work he can do. My React DOM is there. What this guy is going to do? This guy render your content inside the container. Each and every person has their own specific work. Okay, these persons is not able to take care of your mapping. Is not able to take care of what? Your mapping. Which mapping? Okay, this part to component. This mapping will not take care by this guy. If this mapping is not take care by this guy, then the term how we can get one more person here? Okay, one more person is nothing but one more library you have to load it here or not. One more library you have to load it here or not. What is that library? You know, if you want to handling the routing in your React application, okay, there has one third-party library that is like React Router DOM is the library. React Router DOM is the library. Using this React Router DOM library in your React application, we can handle what? We can handle routing. We can handle routing. What is the library name? React Router DOM. So I want this library. I want to download this library. See, all your libraries downloaded were inside the node modules. Can you check React Router DOM is there or not there? Can anyone tell? React Router DOM can we find here or not? React Router DOM can we find here or not? React is there. React is there. Where is my React Router DOM? It's not. Why? Because you not mentioned here. You not downloaded by using npm install command or not. So can we mention here? How you can mention my React? Next one is what? Router. Oh. Okay, what is the version? What is the version? Can anyone tell? Version number, do you know? Do you know the version number? I don't know. Okay, you also don't know? We also don't know. I know only the name. Okay, if you don't know the version, if you know the version, you can put the version name here. Okay, you can put the version name here. Once you put the version name here, okay, then automatically it download your library. The new library what you have added automatically is downloaded. Okay, you added one more library here. Okay, with name and version, then that automatically is it downloaded? No, never. Okay, once you added one more property, one more library here, Again, who can download this particular library? Who can download? My npm install is the command or not? Npm install command. Again, you have to run it. If you run this time if you run, already these three loaded, right? Okay, so that these three will never load again. Only the last one is going to load. Okay, in the past it's like 5 minutes, right? Now it's take like only 1 minute. It can download my React router DOM. If you know the version and the name and version, okay, then you can mention that one in the package.json and do npm install again. If you don't know that one, if you don't know the version, if you don't know name itself, then no one can do anything. Okay, at least you should know the name. If you know only the name, then that time simple. Okay, here don't mention in the package.json, here itself npm install that one, that name you know, right? React router DOM. Okay, now this particular command downloaded this particular library and placed in which folder? Node modules folder. Okay, you want me to only place this library inside the node modules, or you want me to keep that one here itself? Okay, two things you have to perform or not. You have to register here that library, as well as you have to download it. This one only it's going to download. Okay, I want to register here. I want to save this one here or not. So how we can save means --save. That's it. Now this command will do two things. One is like it download the React router DOM library placed in the node modules, and it is going to save this particular library inside your package.json. Two things it can do. Now see, while running this npm install command, I already told you internet should be enabled. Now see, let's take some time. Okay, but tomorrow from your end, complete up to here. Okay, you can create all your components. Okay, just place your header and menu and your footer. Okay, the latest version. Okay, it is going to always take the latest version. Okay, my node package manager knows, right? All the packages, the versions and everything. Okay, it's again I'm telling, it's not only for React. These node modules and npm and package.json, it's not only for React. All UI libraries and frameworks, we are going to follow the same approach. Yes, see this React router DOM added or not? React router DOM added or not? Okay, now in the node modules folder also somewhere you can find, okay, my React router DOM library or not. Okay, React somewhere check. Okay, somewhere you can find, Okay, so check here. Oh, that should be there. That is not your work. And you come here, can refresh. Okay, you can check your end. Okay, with another name also then placed. Okay, somewhere he put it. Okay, here there has multiple dependencies, like one library used another library like that. Okay, they give like another name also, exactly don't know that one. Okay, that is the thing is happened. Now once it is done, okay, once it is done, what is next step? Once it is done, what is the next step? Can anyone guess? What is the next step? You have to do the mapping or not. Okay, this is the part, this is the component, this is the part, this is the component. Like this, you have to mapping or not. Once you did the mapping by using React router DOM, that guy will take care of everything. Okay, that routing and everything will take care by this library. How we can take care, we'll see in tomorrow's class. Okay, from your end, what you have to do is, okay, up to here complete. Up to here you can complete. Okay. Yeah, tell me. Yeah, we will discuss the React Native also, but it's not like full. See, React Native, once all our React concepts completed, okay, if you come to the React Native, or the React Native official website, if you see each and every topic which is related to React only, so that you can simply say like, if you know React, yes, you can say like React Native also I know, like that you can say. Okay, okay, I will cover how to create application, how to build. Okay, I will tell. Okay, then thanks guys. Okay, thanks for joining. Up to here you can complete. Tomorrow I will upload. Okay, today I will not. Okay, today you can try your own. You can try your own. Up to here you can complete. Okay, okay then. Thanks. Bye.